I mean, the whole James Gunn thing, controversy. What do you think?
Well, first and foremost, I agree with Disney
Right.
firing James Gunn. There's no way he could be rehired
No.
after that.
No. I mean, you're talking about, like, raping little boys while watching movies and, like, pedophilia.
But you don't think a person can grow in, like, 6 years?
I'm not saying that... I'm not saying personally that he actually does that shit or believes in that shit. And I understand his whole thing about where he was 6 years ago. His whole shtick was to... It was humor by... what do you call it?
Shock humor?
Yes, it's shock humor. It's like it's shock humor. I mean, that's what he was going for 6 years ago. He was very into shock humor. So fine. I mean, if that's your shtick, that's what it is. But like,
So what do you think his cast members are saying when they stand up for him?
I don't know. Before we get to that, though, we have to go back to. I think Disney did the right thing because they have a brand to protect, right? They can't be attached to something
of
like
course.
this, and it's Disney. But in hindsight, Disney should have done their research before they hired Gunn.
Like, what's his face? Ryan Johnson, Star Wars, deleting all his tweets now?
Right. I mean, he did the
maybe,
right move.
Maybe he said stuff, maybe he didn't, but
just
now,
to be safe,
yeah.
it's better, especially for future job prospects, it's better to just be safer than sorry. And, I mean, it's Disney fucked up in the first place, because, like, I think you said this earlier, people do background checks for normal jobs.
Yeah.
Right? Disney having the resources at their fingertips that they have, they could have easily had someone go and be like, okay,
Facebook, Twitter,
right,
Instagram,
here's
whatever.
James Gunn's profile, go through it. Not we don't want to hire this guy, but hey, idiot, delete your tweets. Or like scrub your shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like just so this doesn't come and bite us in the ass so we don't have to deal with this bullshit later. Like it's not appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's Disney's fuck up. So yeah, I agree with James Gunn not being hired. From
Rehired.
rehired from
Yeah.
a corporate perspective. It makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about if he's not being rehired? What do you think like the direction is for the third movie? Like, did you like the first two movies?
I really liked the first movie. I thought the second movie was just a lot more of the first movie, but almost overdone a little
I
bit.
felt like there's way too much CGI in the second
Yeah.
one.
I agree with that. But it was just a little bit overplayed. That's what it felt like. It was still a good movie. It was just like
They had the same formula.
right, like change it up a little bit.
Yeah. I do like the soundtrack.
I mean, you love 80s music
Well,
anyway, so that's just what it is.
Hopefully, whoever's doing the third one still
I think 80s or 90s. I mean, 80,
like late
right?
80s
Yeah.
or so.
I heard they're still using his script though, so that should calm a little bit of the furor with the cast. I know Dave Bautista's like, I'm not gonna be in this fucking movie if
the script's
they
not
don't
being
use
used.
the same script. Yeah,
I agree that the first one was far superior than the second one.
yeah.
Do you have any idea what it would be about, the third one? Like, where they're going?
Where they're going? I mean,
Are they gonna introduce-
obviously Adam Warlock has. I mean, he was teased in the last one, right? So
Okay.
I'm assuming they're gonna build on that story,
What do you think about, like, Nova Corps?
like Nova.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be a cool character to explore. I mean, he fits that
Yeah.
space cop type theme that they're going with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that would be kind of cool to explore, but I don't know. Who do you think should take over now that James Gunn is for sure as hell not getting rehired?
Josh Whedon. No, just kidding.
Are you serious?
What about, like, I think Tim Miller, maybe. The one that did Deadpool. I think if there's a big enough budget, like, I would like to see him what he can do with, like, I don't know.
Hundreds of millions
Hundreds
of
of
dollars
millions
versus
of dollars.
like 50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that guy can stretch a budget, but
Yeah. And his action scenes are pretty good.
right, give him money to play with, and yeah, that would be pretty interesting to see what he could do. I kind of want to see. I'm gonna butcher his name. Taika Waititi, the guy that did Thor 3.
Yeah.
I felt his style was very similar to Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it has like the comedy,
cosmic, like
yeah,
like fun, lightheartedness almost to it, which I think the first two Thor movies were lacking because the first two Thor movies sucked compared to the third one.
Yeah. I try to ignore those two out of continuity.
Right. So, I mean, I could see him easily slotting in and taking over for Gunn, even using Gunn's script, but I think he has a similar flair.
But what about Zack Snyder?
Hell no. Hell no. Keep that guy as far as hell away from any more comic book movies. Him and Whedon. Whedon sucks too.
Yeah. I
mean, it's like the same, I don't know. Like, you know, they always talk about like a Snyder cut of Justice League. How much better could it possibly be? Like in reality.
Like, why do you need a cut
yeah.
for a movie? I mean, like, it should just be a great movie to begin with.
Yeah.
Why do you need like a second version of it?
But yeah, I think Waititi would bring a good element to
what
it.
What if the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy were like, no, we're not coming back unless Gunn's rehired, and you're Disney, what do you do?
Thor 4 / Guardians of the Galaxy.
Just take out the third volume.
Yeah, you just make it a team up movie with Thor. I mean, you saw the formula.
But what are you gonna do with the cast of?
They don't want to be in it. It's fine. You still have Rocket. You still have Groot. You saw how good Thor, Rocket, and Groot were together.
Oh, so you're saying like Bradley Cooper?
I don't think Bradley Cooper has a issue. I mean, you can get someone to fucking say "I am Groot," right? Or you can just reuse Vin Diesel's "I am Groot" over and over again because that's all he fucking said.
I am Groot.
So what?
I am Groot.
Yeah, you said that.
I am Groot.
Well, that's just as fascinating as the first 89 times you told me that.
So I mean, it's not like it's going to be that hard.
And then I guess you could get another voice actor for Rocket.
Rocket, if Bradley Cooper really didn't want to be in it. But I mean, I think the chemistry between Thor, Rocket, and Groot in Infinity War is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. So you just
like I think you have Waititi come in with Thor and make this like a Thor 4 / half the Guardians of the Galaxy mashup. I think that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know. I mean, that could work, but I would like to see a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with the proper cast. And that's what I personally want to see. I don't want it to become like a Thor mashup.
Yeah.
But if everything went to hell, I think that would be a good segue into continuity. Okay, so say we get a new director we do get a new director, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They release it with the proper cast and everything.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it's going to compare? I mean, sight unseen, obviously you haven't seen it, but what do you think do you think people are going to have a bias just because it's not?
I think there are a bunch of
James
hardcore James Gunn fan base, but me personally, I think whoever they decide to go with, the movie's going to be better than the first. Well, than the second one. Yeah, for sure.
But do you think it's going to have that bias that people aren't going to give it
for
an
sure.
objective viewpoint?
All the time.
Just because, Gunn didn't do it, I don't give a shit about this movie. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Regardless. If it is better.
Definitely.
I think it's going to have that.
Just like how the same people think if Snyder's name's attached to a movie, they're just going to be like,
right.
it's going to suck.
Yeah, because the Snyder cut might be better than Whedon's cut of whatever Justice League ended up being, right? People are still clamoring to see a Snyder cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that issue's going to be there.
I feel like it might not be as good as the first one. It could be better, but it might not be as good. But it'll definitely be better than the second one.
It's hard for a lot of movies to live up to the first one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you go...
Not too many sequels are better than the original.
Except for maybe Cap.
Okay.
Except for Cap. Cap 2 is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It still ranks in like one of my like top 5 Marvel movies.
But for every like gem of those, there's like so many.
Yeah. I mean, you've
Iron Man 2
and 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's going to be tough for anyone to fill those boots just because of the bias that's already going to be there from the get go.